The IFBB are not happy with Hadi Choopan. Should he be suspended? Palumbo says yes, plus Ronnie Coleman and Phil Heath give their opinions. What's up, Desktopers? Xavier Wills here for Desktop Bodybuilding, and we are back with another video, and today we're discussing Hadi Choopan after walking off stage at the 2023 Mr Olympia celebrations after placing second. And there's been a whole lot of controversy. Dave Palumbo calling for suspension for Hadi Choopan. We'll get to that later in this video, and we get the opinions of some legends and experts in this one. But let's look at the incident where Hadi Choopan walked off stage. And there is a misconception as well that he actually didn't have any photos in the presentation. He did, in fact, as you guys can see on the screen right here. But let's take a look at the incident.
And one more pose, guys. How about a most muscular?
I'll tell you one thing. When they came out to pose at the end, I had a feeling.
You got to... Hadi, we got to get more pictures. All right, well, I guess we're done. The remaining gentlemen.
So it's a little awkward. So the second picture of it gets taken, the most muscular, that will have 4 guys in there, and it looks like Brandon Curry second. It's just, I don't know, a little bit strange that Hadi Choopan decided to walk off before he'd met one last pose, and then he'd be completely excused. There would have been no drama, but I think Hadi losing Miss Olympia took a bit of a hit on him. But let's look at the reactions from some of the guys that were also on stage. So we've got Samson Dowdy here raising the eyebrows and then pulling the awkward face, which it probably was awkward for all involved on that stage. But also Brandon Curry trying to get Hadi to come back on stage after he's leaving. He's like, oh, Hadi, no, wait, and then Bob Chicarelli obviously saying, Hadi, we've got to take more photos. So a little bit awkward for not only Derek Lunsford on stage, but everyone else involved. And Derek Lunsford spoke on this too, saying that he was surprised by the reaction of Hadi, but he says they're good friends. It doesn't really change anything between them, and, you know, life sort of goes on. But there is a direct contrast to what Derek Lunsford did last year after placing second to Hadi Choopan. He was super congratulatory. You can see here the hands being held up photo. We didn't get that at this year's Olympia because Hadi walked off stage. And you can see Derek smiling, happy, and really happy for Hadi Choopan. But it is a little bit different with Hadi obviously winning last year and then losing the title. Derek last year, it was his open debut. So second place was really probably higher than most people actually expected for Derek Lunsford. And since this has all gone down, Hadi's put out an apology of sorts. I mean, he's said he's ashamed and disappointed. That's at least the conversion we've got from his language to English. So that's the best we've sort of got, and a few Iranians helped Who Is the Best BB on IG actually break down what Hadi actually put up on his Instagram, because the normal Google Translate was just putting out something that, 1, didn't make sense, and 2, apparently wasn't an accurate representation of what Hadi actually said. And then Hadi followed it up with something in English here, congratulating all the Mr Olympia winners, including Derek Lunsford as well. But I found it interesting what Dave Palumbo had to say on the most recent episode. I believe it was of Heavy Muscle Radio on RX Muscle. Let's have a listen into that, about what Dave, King Kamali, and the others had to say.
I don't like poor sportsmanship. Everyone's a good winner. We always say that, right? But how you lose is sometimes more a definition of your true character, because it's always good, you know, when you win, of course you're in a good mood, you know. I think that was really poor sportsmanship. I gotta be honest. And you know what? If I were Jim Manion, I would suspend his ass. I really would. There's got to be some kind of a sanction for that. That is not cool. I don't care how mad he was. I don't care how pissed he was. Ramy didn't run off stage when he placed 5th. He dropped to 5th place.
Dave makes a good point. You know, Ramy didn't run off stage when he placed 5th, which would have been a huge hit, bigger than placing 2nd the year after. So, I mean, he does make a point, but being suspended for 1 year, Hadi Choopan missing out on next year's Olympia, there would be riots. I don't think this will happen. I don't think Jim Manion would do this, but if it did happen, it's going to get pretty crazy, I reckon, with bodybuilding fans, especially the Iranian bodybuilding fans, after we've heard reports as well that Derek Lunsford's family's receiving death threats, head judge Steve Weinberger's receiving death threats. It's just not on, and I hope this doesn't continue, and it's not Derek's fault. He won the Olympia based off what the judges did, and the judges saw it as that being the result, and fans were sort of split across Derek Lunsford, Hadi Choopan, and Samson Dowdy. Slightly more had Hadi winning, but not being there and having that opinion, I think is really, really harsh.
Ramy did not run off stage, and I've never seen another Olympia champ do that. The only other person I can remember in recent memory who did it was Craig Titus at the 95 USA, and Manion suspended him for a year after that. So
yes, he did.
So there is precedence for a suspension for doing this. Now, I haven't seen that footage. I haven't seen what Craig Titus exactly did. He might have been much more irate. But being on the Mr. Olympia stage, it is the biggest stage in bodybuilding. It's the presentation of bodybuilding to the world because more fans and more casual fans see this sort of footage, and everyone has seen this because it's been put out there more, because it is surprising to have teammates. They're both Team E-Vision. They're both Team Honey Rambod. They train together for the Olympia, and that's why it's, I think, a little bit more of a big deal as well. But they seem to be on good terms since. Derek Lunsford has confirmed this. Hadi Choopan has been in videos with him and Honey Rambod. So it seems all good. But that could just be like, we have to put this out here to stop the Iranian fans, maybe for starters, and maybe all this drama. And Hadi doesn't want drama between the two athletes. And when he was speaking, Hadi wasn't exactly smiling, which would have really helped the video a little bit as well. But let's listen on.
Now, I got something to say about this because I talked to Bob this morning.
okay.
We had a nice conversation and, talking about all this stuff. And that's one of the subjects that came up. Manion's not happy.
Yeah. Why
That's all
would he?
I mean, I'm not going to go in depth to the conversation because Bob and I, when we talk to each other, it's just like Dave, when me and you talk to each other. There's some things that we keep to ourselves. But I can say that Jimmy's not happy. He's not.
Why would he be? It's an embarrassment. You can't do that. I mean, you suck it up, you shake everyone's hands, you take the picture, you go off stage, and then if you want to bang your head against the wall backstage, you do whatever you want. You don't do it in front of the audience.
So what you guys might not know is Jim Manion, he's the president of the IFBB. He is the big #1 guy, the president of the federation that puts on the Mr. Olympia. He doesn't own the Mr. Olympia, that's Jake Wood, but he's the president of the entire federation. So King Kamali was talking to Bob Ciccarello, who emceed the Mr. Olympia. He obviously talks to Jim Manion, and he conveyed that Jim Manion is not happy. Now, I don't know what was actually said in that conversation, but if the president of the federation is not happy about that, then that could lead to a suspension possibly. Now, I put a poll up on my YouTube community tab, and only 23% of you with over 5,000 votes believe that Hadi Choopan should be suspended. So it's under a quarter of fans think Hadi Choopan should be suspended for walking off stage at the Mr. Olympia, and I am on their side. I don't believe he should be suspended for a year. Maybe there should be some sort of a fine, a sanction, or whatever. I don't know. I don't really have too strong of an opinion on it because it creates news for my channel, which I'm able to put out to you guys. But let me know what you think in the comments. Here's some of the comments from that post you can see on the screen right now. People giving a bit more detail rather than just a yes or no vote. And yeah, the overall consensus is that Hadi should not be suspended. But here's what Phil Heath and Ronnie Coleman, 15 Mr. Olympias between these guys, and what they had to say on the matter.
What do you think about the show last night? I mean, it is what it is, don't it? It is what it is.
It's hard, man, because it's like everybody wants to ask us, because we've been there, like, what's your opinion on, like, why do I have to have one?
Exactly.
Do I really have to have one? The biggest question I always have is, okay, the results are in, what can you do next time then?
Exactly.
First of all, have you guys even taken a step back and thought, where's this guy from? Because imagine where he's from. He's from
But you
Iran,
know,
right?
how did he did when at the show, and they announced he will too.
He went up to him and hugged him.
And everything.
It's like, how much you want?
Yeah. I was saying, I know exactly how you feel.
So, like Ronnie said, they know how it feels. They've won 15 Mr. Olympias and they lost their last Olympias. So, they know how it feels. Phil Heath actually lost his last 2 Olympias. Did Ronnie Coleman lose his last 2? I don't know. Whatever it was, they actually did lose their last Olympia, so they know how it feels. And, I mean, like Phil said as well, being from Iran, there's probably a lot more pressure on Hadi Choopan to do well. And he's extremely disappointed and now extremely motivated for 2024. And it seems like there probably won't be any suspension. But if the president of the IFBB is not happy with you, then potentially there is. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you think Hadi Choopan should be suspended or not? And if you did enjoy this video, give it a thumbs up, smash that like button, also subscribe and hit the notification bell button. That way you'll be notified of every video that goes up here from myself, Xavier Wills at Desktop Bodybuilding. So for Xavier Wills, Desktop Bodybuilding, we are out.